What's going on, guys? It is me, Tyson the Trainer, back with another video for you today. Another podcast. I mean, some of you may watch this podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about sleep. So, it's not a nutrition talk with Tyson the Trainer today. It's a get some fucking sleep talk with Tyson the Trainer. Because guess what? A lot of you suck at sleeping. And it has actually been something that's probably been the biggest thing that I've focused on this year so far. And it's not perfect, but man, is it getting better. And I'm telling you guys, you don't realize how important sleep is until you actually fucking get some sleep. Because in this world, we literally get a lot of people are so fucking underslept and they're performing at suboptimal, and just feeling like shit all the time. And you think that's like your normal. And it's so funny when I've encouraged clients to get more sleep and they have got more sleep. They're like, oh, I didn't realize, how what normal felt like until I went back to normal. And it's so weird because our new state of normal is just shit. And it's like, you don't need to feel like shit all the time when you focus on getting some good quality sleep. So that's what I want to help you guys with today, just to stop feeling shit overall. And, just showing you how good sleep actually is, right? So, firstly, the interesting thing about sleep is that humans are the only fucking animal that will forego sleep. That chooses to not sleep. That's such a bizarre thing to think about. That every single animal will just go to sleep when it needs to go to sleep. Yet humans are like, nah, I'll stay up, I'll do this, I'll go out and party on the weekend, I'll fucking do this. And it's like, man, if there's one way that we know how to cook your brain, how to make you have how to basically increase your chance of overall mortality, right? How to negatively impact your blood glucose response, how to negatively impact your brain health, how to negatively impact your recovery, how to increase your chances of muscle loss. What else? How to increase your chances of binge eating, how to increase your chances of basically fucking your life up. It's rejecting sleep. Ridiculous, right? And not only we're the only animal that decides to forego sleep, every fucking animal sleeps, right? If every single animal sleep, you'd think evolution has done it for a reason. Because think about this. For 8 hours, supposedly, we should be sleeping between 7 to 9 hours. Some people sleep more. For a large chunk of time, like a third of your day technically, should be spent sleeping. It must be important if what evolution has created this, it's got to be fucking important, and it is. Yet because it's not an urgent thing, and because we've just figured out how to cope without it, especially with the use of things we can have on these days, it's not front of mind. But again, I want to bring it front of mind because again, when you guys start to feel better and you notice how it will change fucking your life, you'll be like, I need more sleep. You want to increase productivity? Get more sleep. It's not about sleeping less. It's about sleeping more. You want to help with your gym performance overall? It's about sleeping more, not sleeping less. You want to improve, if you're an athlete, you want to improve your sport. It's about sleeping more, not sleeping less. Do you want to improve your memory and your attention to detail and your, what's the word I'm trying to think of? You're studying something. Do you want to basically remember what you're studying? Get sleep more. Sleep has been shown to do everything. It is where we will lock in information for the day that we've learned. When we go to sleep, we'll actually store that information. And when we get lack of sleep, and especially certain types of sleep, we don't get that stuff. And that's why most of us can't fucking remember where we put our keys, let alone anything else, because we're just literally sacrificing ourselves. And it's funny because a lot of people are like I have legitimate ADHD, right? I've been diagnosed, I am on medication. And a lot of people are like, oh, I have ADHD, it's like, dude, you don't have any attention span because you're fucking not sleeping and you're tired and you're over caffeinated and then you can't concentrate anymore. You don't actually have ADHD, you're just fucking overstimulated and also underslept. And you have no attention span because of that. It's not because of your fucking ADHD, It's not something to brag about that you have ADHD. It's something to brag about that, oh man, I only had 3 hours of sleep last night and I'm grinding hard. What the fuck, man? What kind of a flex is that? It's not a fucking flex. It's stupid. Anyways, back to sleep, right? So let's just kind of break this down. We're going to start with the daytime first, because getting good sleep does start with you waking up in the morning, all right? The first thing you want to have is regularity with waking up in the morning. You do not need to wake up exactly at the same time every day, but ideally within about a 2-hour time frame. So like, if you wake up, let's say you usually wake up at 6 o'clock, waking up at either 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. would be ideal. Okay, between those, like, I guess 3 hours type of thing. But you do not want to wake up at 6 o'clock Monday to Friday, right? And then Saturday and Sunday, you sleep until 10 a.m. It will fuck you up. Because guess what? All of you on a Sunday night who do that struggle to go to sleep on a Sunday night. Then you wake up feeling shit on a Monday, and it starts off on a shitty Monday. So try and keep regular sleep routine would be the first thing, and waking up roughly within the same time. Now, obviously, you go out and socialize, and you do stuff on the weekend, and I get it, but guess what that means? It's probably actually beneficial to wake up roughly still at the same time, and then get a nap in during the day, okay? Because when you wake up at a different time, you've now shifted your whole clock differently, okay? So if you're used to waking up at 6 a.m. and now you're waking up at 10 a.m., you've now shifted that 4 hours ahead, right? So now your body is out of whack. And now when you try to go to bed, usually at, let's say, 10 o'clock at night, now you're not going to bed till like 12 or 1 o'clock at night. You can't sleep properly because you've fucking thrown yourself out of whack. So what would be better is if you go out, you go home, you go to sleep, you wake up at that normal time, you get a nap in during the day, okay? That's what would be better overall, because you've woken yourself up at that normal time, you've given your body to be like, hey, we're awake, the day's starting, then you can nap later on during the day, but you need to keep that regularity, all right? So regular wake up schedule, right? Secondly, going to get some morning sunlight if you can. Morning sunlight will help activate something called our circadian rhythm. We have this, I can't remember what it's called in the brain, I can't even think of the word, it's off my brain. Basically, it's called a Zeitgeber, which is a timekeeper in our brain, okay? Oh man, that word is on the tip of my tongue, I just can't say it. Superchiasmatic nucleus. God damn it. But that's basically what keeps our internal body clock, all right? So getting sun first thing in the morning actually helps with that circadian rhythm. When I'm recording this right now, it's fucking pissing down rain in Sydney. There's no sun here. So I actually use, for those of you watching YouTube, or when you see my videos on Instagram, I use the ring light as my morning light on my eyes, okay? You can actually get these things called SAD lamps, seasonal affective disorder, because some people do actually suffer with something called seasonal affective disorder in winter when there's no sunlight. So you get these lamps, I think they're about 10,000 lux, if I can remember correctly, maybe higher, and they actually will help signal that same the same lux from the sun that'll tell you it's daytime. So getting one of those things, this is actually 10,000 lux light, I'm pretty sure, or it's like just underneath, and this is something that I use every morning to put on my face when I'm working. Not like put on my face, but have it as I'm talking to you guys or as I'm doing work on the computer, it's shining on my eyes the first thing in the morning to tell my brain, hey, it's daytime, all right? So getting sunlight is important. And then secondly, caffeine is also a Zeitgeber. So for all of you caffeine fiends, that's a good thing. So having caffeine in the morning and going for a walk in the sun is probably one of the best things you can do. Now, when you go for a walk in the morning and it's sun, ideally as close to sunrise as possible, don't wear sunglasses, okay? We need that sun on our eyes. You don't look directly in the sun, obviously, but you want the sun shining on your face, shining on your eyes, because that's going to help with your internal clock, okay? Superchiasmatic nucleus, that's what it's called, I think. Sorry, it's just sitting in the back of my head. All right, so waking up with a routine, getting some sunlight or some external light on your eyes, and also getting some caffeine in the morning is a great way to start your day, and set you up for the day, right? Secondly, continue on with caffeine intake. People are going to metabolize caffeine differently. One of the worst things that we do is we abuse caffeine, especially in the afternoons when we can't sleep, when we're a bit tired and we have a slump. And then what are we going to do? We're going to try and have extra caffeine to keep us awake, which will then fucking cause us to stay awake at night and we can't sleep. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 to 8 hours, okay? Which means if you have 2 shots of coffee in the afternoon, 1 shot of coffee 6 to 8 hours later is still going to be in your body. So if you have 2 shots of coffee at 2 p.m., by 10 p.m., you're still going to have 1 shot of coffee in your body, basically, still being broken down in your bloodstream, right? Now, this isn't the same for everyone. Everyone's going to be different. There are people who metabolize caffeine normally, slow metabolizers, fast metabolizers. Guess what I am? A fucking slow metabolizer. And I'm a coffee fiend. So unfortunately, I can't even have coffee after 10 a.m., you know? And I know if I have coffee later in the afternoon, I have fucked myself from a night of sleep. And there have been days where I've still done it, and I don't know why, and then I know I ruin my sleep. So I've now set myself a rule, no coffee after 10 a.m. And I've actually stuck to that a fair bit this year, and I'm very happy with it because it's really improved my sleep. All right? Now, again, there are some of you, my dad, for example, has a coffee at 8 p.m. and he can go to sleep. So even though I had the rule of try and keep it as far away from your bedtime as possible, there are some people that can get away with it, okay? Don't fucking lie to yourself and say you can get away with it if you can't, right? You want to put it to the test? Have a drink of coffee before you go to bed. Let's prove it. You know, you're either going to ruin a night of sleep or you're going to show me that you can actually do it. So, coffee, ideally, as far away from bedtime as possible. If you're feeling like slump in the afternoon, sometimes it just actually comes from people sitting down too long and doing nothing or doing work that's just brain deadening. And it usually everyone gets that same kind of slump at 2:30ish, 3 p.m.ish, maybe 3:30. Get up and go for a walk. Get up and do something. Go outside. Have you been outside today? Have you got some sunlight? You know, it also could be from a big meal you have, or even better, if you can, if you're someone who's a napper, I wish I could nap. My brain will not let me nap. Go for a nap if you can nap. A nap will fucking help you out, push you through that rest of the day, you know? Now with a nap, ideally, you want to get about no more than 30 minutes, okay? Because if you fall asleep for too long, you then go into one of your sleep cycles, and a sleep cycle lasts for 90 minutes. And if you wake up somewhere in between that sleep cycle, which you definitely know about, you wake up and you're like, what year is it? What the fuck has happened? And then you're groggy for the rest of the day. Like I know I don't like napping because I wake up feeling worse, not better. Like I feel groggy. I kind of weirdly feel sick and nauseous. It's very odd. And it's just because my body doesn't like to nap at the end of the day. So I don't do it. But if you do, obviously you can't nap at work. You might be able to if you take a half an hour break. But napping can also help with that afternoon slump. You know? Or again, if you want to have caffeine for an afternoon slump, just make sure that it's not affecting your sleep, right? So caffeine intake, that's what the rule is. If you're someone who trains in the afternoon, probably unfortunately you can't have caffeine. You can still get a workout in, you can still train. You actually teach yourself to just be able to push it hard without caffeine. Use music to pump you up. Sometimes I put on some fucking really good music and I'm just ready to rock and roll. So try that, all right? So that's your caffeine intake. So remember, we have a morning routine, wake up roughly at the same time, making sure you're having some caffeine, getting some light on your skin during the day, making sure you try and keep caffeine as far away from bedtime as possible. Thirdly, routine throughout the day. Exercise ideally should be routinized too. Again, within like a 3-hour block. The body kind of has this weird thing where it's like, it can kind of be within 3-hour range and be okay with regularity, you know, because it's not like super 100% specific. As in like it needs to be done at this time. So if you train roughly, always give yourself that little 3-hour gap. So if you always train in the morning at 7 a.m., between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. would be ideal, right? If you always train in the afternoon, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. would be ideal, okay? So try and keep regular with your exercise if you can, because again, regularity and keeping the body in some type of rhythm and routine, and again, it doesn't have to be super specific and regimented, but if you keep it in routine, it makes fucking your life so much easier and it keeps your body just functioning well, okay? So regularity and routine is key for exercise too, right? In saying that with exercise, one thing that I notice for myself, not everyone, if you exercise later in the afternoon/evening, it may make it harder for you to sleep because you're hot. Okay, so if you are someone who does, you have to exercise in the afternoon, no matter what. Like if you are someone who does that, and you do realize it kind of fucks you to sleep a little bit, having your idea before bed, whether you're exercising or not actually, is to cool yourself down. So if you're someone who is exercising in the afternoon, after you finish exercising, cool yourself down by having a cold shower, okay? Now people are gonna be like, oh, but there's research showing that if you have a cold shower, that it'll actually limit hypertrophy. some of you may have heard this, some of you wouldn't. So basically what they said is cold exposure actually reduces inflammation, and inflammation reduction is not good after weight training because we want our muscles to be inflamed, right? Having a cold shower isn't gonna fucking stop inflammation, all right? What it's actually going to do is it's going to pump. When you have a cold shower, your core temperature is going to push towards your extremities. Okay, so like your core is where we obviously keep our warmth. It's going to push towards your hands, your feet, and things like that to keep them warm because now you're fucking cold. What that'll actually do is dump your body temperature and drop it down. Okay, when you've dropped your body temperature back down, you are now cool. You are now going to relax more, and then guess what that means? You can then cool down before bed. All right, so having a cool shower, which is obviously counterintuitive because we all want to have a fucking hot shower at night. If you're coming back from a workout, having a cold shower will actually benefit you more. Okay, and same thing as if you're not working out. If you want to have a cold shower at night time, obviously you wouldn't want it in winter. It'll actually possibly help you sleep better. All right, so having a cool shower to cool down your body. Also with that, after exercise, like cooling down, trying to reduce your heart rate afterwards too is going to be important. So breathing, slowing down, taking time to relax, okay? Because when we teach our body that nighttime is for unwinding, it's for relaxing, it's for winding down, it will help you calm down more and it will help you get to sleep, okay? No one goes to sleep being wired, you don't have a fucking bump of Coke and then go and lay down. There's a reason people take Coke and then Valiums to go to sleep. It's a muscle relaxant. You need to chill out. Okay, so I've heard, yes, so I've heard that people have Valiums after Coke, but basically you want to calm yourself down after a workout or just in the evening, right? So ideally, a cold shower will help if you train in the afternoon, and then also, even just taking like 2 minutes to do some deep breathing, so like, and just relaxing a little bit. Cool. So that's a good thing. Carbohydrates at dinner time, whether it be post-workout or whether it be just in general, carbohydrates are actually great to actually help you sleep. They are a stress reducer overall, so making sure you're having some carbs at night time, which means after 6 p.m. they are not fucking bad for you, okay? Total calorie intake matters most. Carbohydrates after 6 p.m. are not bad and could also help you sleep better, right? Doesn't mean you go pump ridiculous amounts of carbs, but carbs are going to be fine for you post-workout. What else was I going to say about that? Regularity, working out, carbs carbs at dinner. I guess this kind of goes to the sleep routine now at night time, right? So ideally, you should be getting ready for bed 45 minutes before bed, okay? So many people are like, oh, I need to go to bed at 10:30, okay. Oh, it's 10:25, all right, time to go to bed. Time to go to bed meaning time to go and have a shower, time to go and clean my teeth, time to go and pack up the kitchen, time to then lay in my bed and sit on my phone. Oh, it's 11:30 and now I'm in bed. Like, you need to start fucking organizing your bed better, going to sleep better. And it's funny because literally people, like, it blows me away that we don't think about this. I need to be in bed by 10:30, but at 10:25 I'm going to fucking start getting ready for bed. Like, no, okay? 45 minutes before bed, you should put an alarm on. Every night I have an alarm that goes off at 8 p.m., right? And every night I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to start getting ready for bed. It's like I still forget about it. I'm watching TV with Angie. We're watching some fucking show. At the moment, we're watching The Boys. And then it's like, oh fuck, my alarm goes off. And she's like, oh, like she'll always, oh, do you want to stay up a little bit longer? Because I work for myself. I can get up whenever the fuck I want. But guess what? I like to go to bed early, And so for me, I make sure at 8 o'clock when that alarm goes off, that's me getting up, cleaning up the kitchen, going to the bathroom, cleaning my teeth, going to lay in bed, put it on an audiobook, playing Sudoku while I'm on an audiobook. That is my bedtime routine. I fall asleep by about 8:35, 8:40, right? That's my routine. I fucking love it. So for you, having a routine when your alarm goes off, like guys, honestly, alarms are so important in our life that we don't realize how they actually help us, It's like a bell ringing at school. You're transitioning to the next thing, okay? Same thing as an alarm. This is actually a great thing that I'm just thinking of. I need to remember this. Like literally, alarms transition us to the next thing. Like the bells at school. I never thought about that until then. So literally, so when your alarm goes off, it's like a thing in your brain telling you time to transition, okay? So you put the alarm on 45 minutes before you wake, or like whatever you guys want. but just make sure you're in bed 15 minutes before you think you should be asleep, okay? Because we never fucking, some of you may just fall asleep like that. I fall asleep probably within 15 minutes now. I used to be really bad at it. I'm way better at it now. I fall asleep within about 15 minutes, okay? Some of you are going to fall asleep earlier. Some of you are going to fall asleep later. But falling asleep within 15 minutes would be fucking ideal. So with that, set an alarm that's going to give you the time that you need, whether that be brushing your teeth, cleaning the kitchen, having a shower, doing whatever you got to do to get you ready for bed, okay? And create a routine. Literally try and be as regimented as possible. Like, I know, as soon as I get up off the couch, I clean the kitchen first because the kitchen's like fucking right there, like right next to the couch. I get up, I put my plate away, I do whatever I've got to do, I clean the kitchen, okay? I then go to the bathroom and I clean my teeth, right? I clean my teeth and then I go to the bedroom. And I actually put on my audiobook as I'm cleaning my teeth. You know, it's just a routine that gets your body ready, you know? The more we can prepare our body and the more regularity we give it again, the better you're gonna be. So give yourself a little bit of routine and you know, do whatever you've got to do as your little pre-bedtime ritual, all right? Now, going into the bedroom. Firstly, no, I'll cover that last. So firstly, when you go into the bedroom, all right, your room should be cool. Your room should have good airflow. Your room should be dark, all right? They're your three main things: cool, airflow, and dark. I'm a very hot sleeper. Like, I fucking run red hot all day. Like, I sweat a lot. Even in winter, I sleep with a fan and an aircon on, okay? Basically, it's because I'm a heavy boy and I'm also on testosterone, so my body temperature is elevated, right? So with me, it has to be super cool. I have it at about like 15 degrees, right? And I sleep under a thin sheet. My aircon and my fan are on. Poor Angie sleeps under fucking a doona, a blanket, and like this little throw sheet because she's freezing, and I'm like, I need this fucking thin little sheet. Otherwise, I'm going to sweat at night. Like, that's how bad it is for me, okay? Coolness is great because we need our body temperature to come down again. So again, having that cold shower is good, but also just having a cool room will help you sleep better. Secondly, airflow, because you do not want stagnant air in your bedroom, and also you want to make sure that, again, you're not going to be sweating because there's no airflow, so stagnation is not a good thing, right? So making sure you do have some type of, again, you don't have to, but ideally you want something kind of moving the air around. Even having like a dehumidifier would probably be a good idea. And then also with that, having blackout curtains or having an eye mask, okay? This is important because any type of light that gets shined on the eyes is going to be an issue to keep you awake, all right? So ideally blackout curtains or a night mask if you have it. I love my night mask. I haven't used it in a while because my face gets fucking hot. Angie uses it more than me, so I just use blackout curtains. If you sleep in a black, cool, dark room, you're going to get most likely very good sleep, okay? Now here's the thing. If you are someone who suffers with insomnia or you can't sleep, do not lay in bed and just stay awake, okay? Because one thing that we have to understand is our environment plays a really important part here. So basically, when we go to work, we're kind of in work mode. You know, you put on your work clothes. Not really anymore because like a lot of us do work from home, but like, you know, you get in the right environment. When you go to the gym, like people who are like, oh, I can't train at home, I need that gym environment. Same as me. No fucking way am I doing home workouts, but I can do gym workouts, you know, because when I go to the gym, it's my headspace, it's the time to train, this is what I'm doing, and it's kind of like flicking that switch. Same thing with our environment in our bedroom, okay? Our bed is for three things: sex, sleep, and relaxing. What we don't do in our bedroom, we shouldn't be watching TV, okay? We shouldn't be, what's the word I'm trying to think? We shouldn't be working, especially from those from you working at home at the moment. And I get up Angie about this all the time. She wakes up, gets on her fucking computer, starts working. Do not do that in your bedroom because you are now associating your bed with work. And then guess what happens when you lay down in bed? You start thinking about work, all right? Like it's a very easy thing to be like, yeah, whatever. But it's also like, it's so fucking important, all right? And like, again, this environment comes back to think about all the things you do only in certain places because our body is trained to do certain things in a certain environment. Again, people are like, I can't go to the gym. Sorry, I can't train at home in my living room. I can only train at the gym, you know, like with me. Or I only train in the park, right? You're not going to run 20 Ks on the spot in your living room, but you're going to run 20 Ks outside. Environment matters. And so training your environment in your bedroom is very important. So your bed is literally for sex, sleep, and relaxation, okay? So if you're someone who's suffering with insomnia, if you can't sleep, get out of your bedroom, all right? Go somewhere else, sit in the lounge room, whatever. Read a book, do something until you get tired, until you feel like you're going to sleep, then go to sleep. Because people with insomnia, for the most part, you think about, I'm not going to get enough sleep. I'm only going to get 6 hours. And you look at the clock, I'm only going to get 5 hours if I fall asleep right now. And you stress yourself out because you can't sleep, It's like this cycle. So instead, go and do something else, right? Anita might hear this. She might not. When she can't sleep, she does work for a bit until she can sleep again, For me, if I wake up at night and I can't sleep, I go outside and I'll fucking play with some more Sudoku. Because Sudoku, for me, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm fucking ready for bed now. And like, it'll help me get back to sleep. So if you can't sleep, get out of bed, go sit somewhere else. Then when you actually feel like you're going to fall asleep, then go back to bed. Okay? So that's an important thing. Thirdly, with that regards to, take away the insomnia. Before going to sleep, some people, you're always thinking about things, right? Sleep is like, as soon as we lay down in bed, the brain's like, oh, time to start fucking thinking about everything. Great thing you can do here is use something called brain dumping, which has been so helpful for so many of my clients. Like, I'm actually surprised how much this has helped people that I'm like, oh shit, this is actually pretty important. Your brain is not for storage. Your brain is for thinking, for memory, so like technically storage, but it's not trying to save thoughts for later on, okay? Like when something happens, like we have memory to remind us that something is good or something is bad, okay? We don't have memory to remind us, remind me later on that I've got to do this. Get it all out of your head onto a piece of paper or your notes app on your phone. So every night before I go to bed, I write everything I think about on my notes app. Like I just keep writing. And you're going to get to a point where basically you remember everything that you have to get out of your head. Because otherwise you keep going over in your head that same shit again and again and again. And it's like a circle, continuously. Or you think about one thing, then you'll think about the next thing. Get it out of your head and write it down. Because then you haven't got all this fucking back and forth ping pong in your head. You're clearing space, It's like a computer. It's only got so much RAM it can be used at one period of time, right? Like, if you overload your RAM, it'll start to go slower. If you have too much storage on your computer, you can't store anymore. So get it out of your head and free up space from your brain. And the fact that you get it out of your head means you don't think about it as much anymore, or probably at all, because you've got it all written down there and you're like, I can deal with this later on, It might be a to-do list. It might be remembering to go pick up the groceries tomorrow. It might be writing down your thoughts and feelings about something. Whatever it is, get it out of your head, okay? Journal can also help with this. I journal every afternoon before I finish up work, just a reflection of the day, just to get it out of my head, all right? And honestly, this brain dumping of doing that can be so helpful, especially people who do suffer with insomnia. And then also, if you wake up at nighttime and you're someone who wakes up thinking about things, again, write it down. That's why I kind of like my notes app on my phone, because I'm not going to write down in pitch black or turn on my light and wake up Angie. So I just write it on my notes if I wake up at night and I think about something. Sometimes I'll have ideas. I'm like, oh fuck, this is great. I'm going to write this down. For content and stuff like that. Funnily enough, as I was sleeping and I woke up and I had a shit sleep, I'm like, this is going to be a sleep talk. So writing it down and getting it out of your head will really, really help. Okay? Brain dumping, going to sleep. I'm trying to think other things that I may have covered that I may have missed for you guys. There was definitely one thing that I said I want to talk about later. Oh, yes. Okay, so we've talked about that, right? So we can kind of recap really quickly. Starts with the morning. Light on your eyes ideally, having some coffee, keeping exercise regular, avoiding caffeine before the evening, keeping some regular consistency throughout your day with the activities you're doing to give your body that regularity, all right? Cooling yourself down in the evening and having a kind of a pre-bedtime routine to get you ready for bed, having that alarm on to transition you to get ready for bed, making sure your room is cool, dark, got some airflow, making sure that, if you are struggling with sleeping, do a brain dump. Escaping reality is also really good. So when you lay down in bed, don't just go and fucking Instagram and scroll. Honestly, please do not fucking go on Instagram and scroll, you know? Because you're going to possibly be a miserable cunt afterwards. Going to bed, thinking about some motherfucker's Lamborghini or how hot some person is because they've been fucking training. Instead, do something that escapes reality. Okay? So for me, I listen to an audiobook and play Sudoku. Right? Don't think about the world at all. For you, it might be reading a fiction book. It might be listening to an audiobook. It might be listening to some chilled music. It don't care. It could be meditation. I don't give a shit. Do something that does not keep you thinking about reality. The more we escape reality at night time, the easier we sleep. Because guess what we think about all the time? Fucking real life. And that's what causes us stress. So escape reality when you're laying down, going to bed. All right? And finally, invest in just good quality bedding, I guess you would say. Get a good mattress, get a good bed frame, get some good sheets, right? Like it took me so long to change my mentality that I have to fucking buy quality, right? Like, man, I just had like sagas with bed frames falling apart, bed slats coming to the fucking, falling loose and all this shit. And I finally got a good bed frame. And like, it wasn't the bed because I don't know if you guys know Koala Mattress. I've had Koala Mattress for like 3 years, right? It's fucking comfy as. I've had one and Angie's had one since like, when she had her own place. She had a Koala Mattress. So we've got two because we both were like, these are great. She knew that she loved them and I loved it too. Yet, it wasn't until I changed to a good bed frame, which I couldn't figure out how this still matters. I'm assuming it's just because it's now level and stable and whatever. But I have never slept so fucking well in my life now that I have a bed frame. That's proper, I feel like an adult because it's an adult bed frame. It's like a full solid wooden bed frame. It's got the bookshelf behind. It's got the drawers underneath. Like, your parents' beds that they have versus yours that's like 4 bolts. And it's like one of those metal steel ones with a few slats or whatever. Yeah, don't fucking do that, all right? Get a good bed frame. Get a good mattress, something that's comfy. Thirdly, spend money on like good sheets. All right. I've probably spent, I don't even know. The bed frame cost me like $3,000. The mattress I think costs a queen mattress is like $800, I think. And then like I didn't realize how expensive fucking sheets were. Can someone tell me why bamboo and cotton sheets cost me a fucking mortgage? Unbelievable, crazy. But guess what? It's worth it for quality sleep. Like, and again, I had to change that thought procession in my head, and I've spent the money now, but it's an investment. It's not an expense, okay? Because again, quality sleep will do, like, it'll basically do everything you are fucking struggling with. It'll most likely fix, all right? Because when we're tired, we're fucking miserable. When we're tired, we have short attention spans. When we're tired, we're angry, When we're tired, we're irritable. When we're tired, we can't perform as well. We can't concentrate as well. We don't have as much energy. We have all these things because we're fucking tired and underslept. So if we fix that issue with maybe getting something comfortable, if it's a comfortability issue, then would you rather be happy? Would you rather have more energy? Would you rather be more alert? Would you rather be able to be more productive? Because I fucking would, So I wish I listened to this like years ago where I spent actually money on my bedding. But hindsight's 2020. So I would say start spending money on good quality sheets, good quality mattress, good quality bed frame. And obviously not everyone can just drop ridiculous amounts of money on that. I get it, but start with one thing. I'd probably say start with a mattress. More than anything, Then I'd probably say, it really depends on you. Like for me, I would say sheets second because I'm a hot sleeper and I need those cooling sheets. But for you, if you don't sleep hot, maybe it's a bed frame, Or maybe it's a bed frame first. I don't give a shit. Just do something that's going to invest in your sleep health overall, right? And finally, regarding the sleep side of things that I forgot. Oh, how long should we be sleeping is what I was trying to remember. So ideally, everyone's going to be different. We're going to need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep, okay? Some people more, some people less. I need about 7.5 hours of sleep, which is why I go to bed at about 8:30. I fall asleep. I get in bed about 8:20, fall asleep about 8:35, 8:45, within that window. I wake up at 4:30 because I wake up once during the night for about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I just wake up, go take a piss, go get a drink. My body just wakes me up in the middle of the night. It's like routine. wake up, go to that, then go back to bed, right? So when you take away that 20 minutes from 8:30, because ideally I'd be waking up at 4 a.m. if I went straight to sleep and slept the whole way through. But I wake up at 4:30 because I do wake up for that time period of 20 minutes-ish, give or take. So for me, I get 7.5 hours sleep, and that's my magic number. All right, I know 7.5 hours because I don't have an alarm that wakes me up. Because I can pick and choose basically when I'm awake. I wake up and go to sleep. I had that luxury, but the routine that I like to have keeps me in that routine. It keeps me routinized, and I know I wake up 4:30, 4:25 to 4:45 is kind of that wake up period if I go to sleep on the right time. So I know I need 7.5 hours of sleep. Okay. Other people are going to need 7. Other people are going to need 8. Other people are going to need 9. Other people might need a little bit longer than 9. You know, Angie sleeps about 9 hours. I'll be awake. Like, we'll go to sleep at the same time. She'll wake up 2 hours after. Probably longer, 2.5 hours after me. So there's no right or wrong, but don't fucking lie to yourself and say you need less sleep, because you don't. All right? You don't. You don't get away with it. You can't fucking out trick yourself. You're not some special snowflake that gets a little sleep and, you run like, you run so good. People think they run well on less sleep, but it's because you're fucking stressed out because you haven't had enough sleep. And your brain is literally wired because you're not sleeping as well. And you're like, oh yeah, but I feel awake, I feel alert. It's like, yeah, because you're pumping yourself full of caffeine, But then when people actually get a proper sleep, they're like, oh, I actually have energy. I actually feel awake and alert. Like, yes, no shit. So 7 to 9 hours. Again, everyone's going to be different. The best way you could figure this out is literally not to go out on the weekend. Just have one weekend of not going out and try and sleep and see how long your body naturally sleeps, okay? Or when you go on holidays, even better. See how long your body naturally sleeps, because that'll give you a good indication. So there you go. There's some sleep tips for you. I hope they help. If you guys have any questions, as always, hit me up at tysonthetrainerr on Instagram with 2 R's. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you share it. And in saying that, if anyone's looking for coaching, just going to put it out there, I do obviously have my online coaching, which you can look at on my website at Tyson Trainer, www.tysonthetrainerr with 1 R's or 2 R's, they're both there, .com, and then you can have a look at the coaching options. Till next time, my friends, I will speak to you then.